Welcome back. The Biden administration quietly admitting that canceling the Keystone XL pipeline was an economic mistake. The Department of Energy is saying in a report last month that the project would have created thousands of jobs and it would have added billions of dollars to the economy. No public announcement was made on this report. Joining me now, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen. Attorney General, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you. Can we talk about the extension of the Keystone pipeline? Because this is the first thing the president did. He killed it, setting the tone for the rest of his energy policy, pretty much for his presidency, which he has now doubled down on. He promised the American economy green jobs that haven't materialized, yet he's killing jobs in the energy sector. Your thoughts?
I mean, this is a justification of what we've been saying since we filed lawsuit on this, right? Montana and my office, we led the lawsuit after the president canceled this permit on day one. This was going to be a huge economic boon, not just to Montana, but to the entire country. Depending on whose numbers you look at in this Department of Energy report, they admit this project was going to create somewhere between 16,000 and 60,000 jobs in the U.S., not to mention billions in revenue. It's pretty stunning to me that the administration just kind of swept this under the rug and released it late on a Friday, but that's to be expected.
And as somebody who has studied this industry, the energy industry, for a long time, the one thing that I often think about and tell people is that it doesn't matter where the natural resources are, how much of them you have, or how abundant they are. If you don't have the proper infrastructure to be able to move oil and gas around, it essentially becomes irrelevant. And so shutting down the extension of the Keystone XL pipeline was so much more than the billions of dollars in revenue that we're talking about for that specific project or the jobs for that specific project. But it's a part of the larger infrastructure picture in this country, which is one of the reasons that we've seen prices go up.
You are absolutely spot on. Look, Jackie, I'm from the part of Montana that this project was going to go through. I'm from the Bakken oil field. We have very little infrastructure up there. When you don't have pipelines in the ground to transmit oil, that means you have to put it on rail car or you have to put it on trucks. We know that's more dangerous.
Yes.
That's more prone for fires. That's more prone for accidents. We've seen derailments. Pipelines are 100% the safest way to transport crude oil. This was going to be a boon for the Bakken, too. I mean, we had negotiated an on-ramp in Montana to get American Bakken oil also in this pipeline. This wasn't just going to be Canadian oil. This was going to be huge for my area of the state as well. So we're very upset about this, and I mean, this is some vindication, I guess, but not much.
Dangerous, expensive, less efficient. Those are the terms that describe using rail transport or truck transport as opposed to using pipelines that are built within this country. Let's switch gears for a moment, because a new Americans for Tax Reform report showing that energy costs could skyrocket again this year over tax hikes in the Inflation Reduction Act. AJ, I want to get your thoughts on this, because I'm also looking abroad. The lockdowns in China are coming to a close. You've still got the Russia's war in Ukraine with issues on transporting Russian oil and gas around the world as well. So I'm in the school that believes that seasonally prices have come down just a little bit, but we're going to see them spike once again.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, between inflation and the drop in output, and as you stated, the lack of infrastructure. I mean, this is not long division. This is pretty easy math. I think the price of energy is going to continue to go up. We've seen it go up since this president and his anti-energy policies have come into office. And as you said, they've doubled down. They haven't admitted any fault here. They haven't admitted any problems. You've even had some of the administration admit that this was what they were going for.
Yeah.
So I think we can expect to keep seeing higher energy costs. That's higher price at the gas tank. That's more expensive heating oil and natural gas this winter. It's pretty tough to heat a house in Montana when it's 35 below with a solar panel and a windmill.
I bet. Over the holidays, temperatures were unseasonably cold here. The feels like was negative in New York, and Con Edison was sending out text messages saying to watch your natural gas consumption and to turn your thermostat down if you possibly could. I mean, it was literally freezing out. So that gives you a sense of, I feel like, how this is playing out in real life across the country. I want to drill down on oil prices with you, though, specifically, because they are are up relatively after China reopened borders on Sunday, boosting the outlook for fuel demand despite 2023 recession concerns as well. So you can see West Texas is trading just under $75 a barrel there. Your thoughts on China specifically with respect to oil and the whole supply situation that we have, remembering the fact that the president has drawn down on the SPR literally by half. So that's not really going to be an option moving forward.
Well, look, China has shown it has a voracious appetite for energy. Canceling of the Keystone XL pipeline, who benefits? China benefited from that. We know that that the Canadians are not going to stop producing that oil, and they're going to find a market for it. China has been very clear for years that they want that oil. I think that they're the ones who are going to benefit from this. They're going to get that oil. They're going to continue to seek more energy around the world to keep their economy going at our expense, frankly.
Yeah.
I think this is part of China's their strategic methodology going forward.
And it is. It's at the U.S. consumers' expense, Attorney General. So I really appreciate you making that point. And it's wonderful to see you this morning. Thank you.
You as well. Thanks for having me.
Sure.